Get your horror figures at Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description. Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Kaiju, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hey there, collectors, it's Steven here, and I'm bringing you another Halloween review. This time it's not going to be Michael Myers or Laurie Strode. It's going to be the Halloween 3 from, you guessed it, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. This is going to be in NECA's retro cloth lineup, so it's not going to be in your standard 7-inch scale. However, they should blend in very nicely with your already established spooktacular displays, right? Well, given the price point, some folks are a bit hesitant, and it's a very hyped release. So let's not delay anymore, because this is going to be a little bit of a lengthy and beefy review. Let's take a look to see whether or not it's worth adding into your collection. So first and foremost, since this is going to be in the retro cloth lineup, the bodies are going to be all the same, and I'm going to emphasize that a few times throughout the review. So I'm not really going to be focusing on what's underneath the cloth goods there, but we're going to focus on how the figures look. So we're going to go left to right from how they are stored in the box. So first, we're going to take a look at Spooky Skeleton Man, okay? All right, so the Skeleton Kid here, the mask actually does look pretty good. We have some very nice details there, and as we flip around on over to the back, that looks great as well. I'm really happy that they managed to get some fantastic sculptors on board for these recent figures, because NECA's been doing a very, very nice job, and I really do commend them for that, because it's very difficult to get some of the accuracies correctly. So yes, it does look like a mask. Now for the rest of the figure, obviously it's going to include that cloth goods style. So how good of a job did they do? Unfortunately, this is going to be more so apparent with the actual witch proper, but it does seem like they're actually starting to fall apart a little bit. And this isn't something I've only experienced myself. This is something that I have seen reported in the NECA fan group on Facebook, which, where'd those posts go? Anyway, yeah, so if you have these, please make sure you are taking care of them. So for the Skeleton Kid, if you take a close look at the actual design there that they have, it does look like it is, I believe the term is tampographed well onto the cloth, and I do hope that that stays there. Underneath my macro zoom in powers here, it does look like there's a nice paint application, so I could see if not handled correctly, this could chip away over time and not look great. Now, when we get up close and personal to the shoes there, all three are going to use the same shoes, just painted a bit different. Now we'll go ahead and move on over to the witch, which actually, has an interesting property for the head sculpt we'll take a look at a second. Now this one you're going to see around the arms and the bottom of the robe that it looks a bit frayed, even more so than what you would expect for someone that's maybe running around in a cheap Halloween costume. That's the one that seems to be, well, to be honest, deteriorating the most. Now, I have cleaned up my display, so I wish I would have gotten a better picture of it, but yeah. So the overall head sculpt does look very, very good. Nothing to really complain about there, and we also still have that silver Shamrock Novelties button, which I am very impressed that they're able to get such clear detail in the font that's there, despite the fact that there are some import companies who can't even do eyeballs correctly. So we'll go with that. Now, like I made mention for the head, the actual hood for the witch, if you pop the head off, which you're going to be needing to do for the alternate head sculpts we'll talk about in a minute, you can remove the head from the hood. So if you wanted to do that, you actually can. Now, to take a look at the robe for the witch, we have a nice orange trim around, I don't know, I guess that would be like the cloak, the mantle, the cape. I'm not sure what that would be. And there's also a wire in there we'll take a look at in a second as well. Now, for the ribbons, which I'm also going to make mention of in a minute, those unfortunately have come untied on me a few times, so what you're seeing here is not how they look out of the box. They actually have a tie to it similar to the Splinter figures that we've seen from the TMNT movie releases, so do keep that in mind. You may want to learn how to tie knots to make it look appropriate. Otherwise, it's as smooth as silk, and aside from it fraying just a little bit and getting all over my display that I needed to clean up, it does look really good. Last but most certainly not least, or last in details anyway, we do have the Pumpkin Kid here. Now, This one is where I have a bit of a paint hiccup because on the face next to the nose above the mouth, there's a little bit of stray black paint, which nobody likes to see. That's a bit disappointing. But aside from that, the paint on the head looks just fine. We do even have the pumpkin stem up top, which is a nice green and masked relatively well. Now on this one, we can actually make out the clearly defined eye holes and mouth hole, so this way the wearer can see and breathe and speak appropriately. Now on this one, we do have the silver shamrock logo, and we do also have that little button there as well. Now, once again, we do have the bodysuit, which on this one is nothing but black, so no details to talk about on this one. Now, of note, I didn't touch base on this with the skeleton, but on the back there is a Velcro strip that is used to keep the bodysuit together. So if you just undo that, you can pull the suit off if you want. So overall, in terms of looks, I'd have to say that they look great, but there is some concern for the cloth goods that were used. Now, all three of these little fellers use the exact same body, so the articulation is going to be the same. So I'll use our spooky, scary skeleton lad to show you the articulation, and then I'll show you the witch body because there's just a small difference just because of the outfit. All right? Okay. So we have a ball-jointed neck. You can see it's a double access or barbell style. So you can move the head around. On my pumpkin, rather loose connection. It's a bit disappointing. So just to go ahead and show you, because Velcro, we have swivel hinge for the shoulder, a bicep swivel as well. So we can spin the arm, raise and lower it, which is good. And again, we do have the bicep swivel. And then I can show you this as well. We have double hinge elbows, so that's good. Again, that connection joint is very loose. And then for the wrists, swivel and hinge, and you saw me rub off on the hand a piece of fabric because, the bodysuits are really seeming like they're coming apart a little bit, so that's a bit disappointing. For the hips, swivel forward and back, hinge out to the side, and we do have thigh swivels, single hinge knees, and then a hinge to move the ankle forward and back, just like so. So no ankle rocker movement whatsoever. So all of the bodies use the exact same body, exact same engineering. So no difference there. The only real difference that I would say would be to the witch, where this portion of the outfit does have a bendy wire, so we can move that. And because of the stitching and the overall robe, we can't really move the legs out too far. So there's that. Also, we do have these ribbons here, which both have come undone in moving the witch around, so be careful of that. So yes, the articulation is okay. Nothing to really write home about. Oh yes, and they have difficulty standing. So if you have NECA stands, the little discs with the peg in them, definitely would recommend them for this set, because the pictures I took for this were difficult. Not fun. Time to talk about accessories, and there are quite a few, so we'll just go ahead and jump into it. All of the figures come with alternate splayed hands for left and right, so everyone comes with 2 sets of hands in total. And in addition to that, we get 3 different trick-or-treat bags. That's right. Well, not 3 different ones, but 3 in total. We get 2 brown paper bags, which can be relatively difficult for them to hold. You're just going to have to finagle it so this way they fit into the hands and not play around with them and knock them around. Otherwise, they will fall. Now, in the promotional pictures, it does look like they get bunched up a little bit, but having done that a little myself, it doesn't seem like they hold too well. But as long as you're able to secure them in the hands and give them a little bit of a tug, you should be able to get them in just fine. And then we also get a nice trick-or-treat bag that has a ghost and a black cat and some pumpkins and so forth on it, which this one, that has a handle on it, so there's no issues there with any of your trick-or-treaters holding it. We also get a TV that has a pumpkin and the silver shamrock logo on it. Before we take a look at how that's all done, take note that this is going to be the same TV from the Nightmare on Elm Street accessory set that comes with the Freddy TV. just missing the Freddy Krueger specific details, even down to the hole on the back, so this way you can mount it to a wall. Now for this one, there is a holographic effect to it, so this way you can switch between the pumpkin and the silver shamrock logo. The not well thought out portion here is that you have to tilt the TV up and down instead of turning it left and right, side to side. So, I mean, I don't really know about you, but if you want this displayed a specific way with that shamrock or the pumpkin, depending on how you look at it head on, you're going to have to tilt it up or down. Could have done a little bit better than that. Yeah. Also, I was able to clean it up a little bit just for the sake of this review, but the glue is a little bit sloppy on the edges poking out there. This is also not something specific to the TV in and of itself, but for one of the knobs, getting this out of the package, I actually kind of broke it. I was able to get it back into place and put a little bit of glue there, so this way it's sturdy. So when you're removing this from the packaging, be careful. Now, the pumpkin kid here actually comes with a witch hat. Yes, pumpkin gets a witch hat. No issues with it at all. Just still find that to be rather odd. And all three of them come with the infamous Explodey Death alternate mask parts. So let's take a look at them. So we can see that there are some snakes, there are some bugs coming out of them, and they all actually have, except for the pumpkin head, eyes. Now, what's cool about the pumpkin head, though, is that the paint applications are entirely different, and it's a brand spanking new sculpt. It actually looks to be a bit more squat. And likewise, for the witch head sculpt, you can pull that out of the hood, and it's not just a reuse of the normal one. Yep, you actually get to see some decayed parts for that head sculpt as well. So all of the details look fantastic for these alternate head sculpts. Again, where there are eyes, they look good. There are no issues there. The detailing on the different critters that are coming out of the masks look fine. There really is nothing to say negative about these alternate head sculpts. So all in all, accessories, good, bad, somewhere in between. I gotta say that I think NECA did an acceptable job here. The only issue is that I wish that they would be able to hold the bags a bit easier, and yeah, that hologram effect on the TV should have been left to right, side to side, instead of up and down. Fix that. We got a winner here. Now, if you're interested in some more effect parts or you need some stands, you know I got some videos to help you out. Now we're going to go ahead and move on over to a size comparison, and I'm not really a big retro cloth kind of guy, so I don't really have many there that I can show you, but if you are a 7-inch scale kind of guy, or gal, whoever you may be, I can definitely show you how these might look. Now, on that note, the reason why I picked these up, probably not going to get an ultimate treatment. Let's be honest there. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Didn't really go into this set with high expectations, but at the same time, I don't really have a dog in this race. Not saying that Halloween 3 is bad by any means, but I don't really have an attachment here. So, I wasn't hoping for an amazing set. I wasn't going to think that this set was bad, but kind of taking a step back and looking at it from a mostly objective lens, I think the set overall is okay. If you're a fan of Halloween 3, though, then absolutely, this is going to be a set you're going to want to get, because I don't see this existing on the market for too long, and you're going to kick yourself if you miss it. Because if you're a fan of Halloween 3, then I could definitely see why you'd love this. But if you're not, and you're kind of sort of one of those collectors just picking up some stuff that may be cool or what's currently in fashion, not calling out anyone, but I think you might know who you are. I think this might be a safe set to skip out on. Now, one thing that I didn't really cover here is the box, and that's because this review was already taking up enough time. I have an unboxing for that, and I would have to say the box is pretty cool as well. Check out that video. So all in all, at the end of the day, this set is about $50. If you're a fan of Halloween 3, definitely recommended, but I think it could be a little bit better. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.